I love this topic. It's actually my favorite thing to discuss, and it was all because I started tracing some dots that I was connecting, and it led to a very, very strange discovery. Teen Vogue is a magazine I'm sure you've maybe read before. My grandma and my mom used to give me that magazine when I was a little girl, when I was a preteen, 12 years old, and maybe up to 14 years old, and I would read it for nail polish colors and where to get cute dresses for spring. Transitioning now to 2021, they're writing articles like, here's why Karl Marx is so important in society. Here is why we need to understand the Communist Manifesto. Antifa is not some evil concept in America. It's actually just they're fighting racism in our country. So the really radical topics, but not just political. They're pushing messages like you don't need to have a monogamous relationship. You don't need to be married at an early age. You don't need to have kids. And they went from saying it's not really something you have to do in your early ages. They're now telling young girls you shouldn't have kids because you're going to bring them into a climate apocalypse. You shouldn't have kids because they're going to be a burden. That led me to discover, why is Teen Vogue getting so radical? Why are they pushing this propaganda? I looked into it. It turns out their Teen Vogue news and politics editor is a trans and an anarcho-communist. And so she's pushing out this messaging. They then sponsored a panel and a table at the Socialist Party convention of 2019 where they talk about how they have to deconstruct the American nuclear family in order to promote a more collectivist society that's more interested in government for a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction, and really to take care of them. And so it all leads back to deconstructing the American family in order to take away what makes people happy and fulfilled in life. And that always leads to that socialist uprising that we're seeing in America.
Good evening and welcome to the program.
However,
people saying the earth is round and not
suppository of all wisdom.
They're the so-called man caves where many husbands
they patriots all across Australia.
Dividing people on the grounds of race is racist.
Well, then you're a racist.
In our democracy and way of life and culture,
Australians is now living off the dole.
Being persecuted for expressing their right to free
We don't want
speech.
Australia to be overrun by these people.
And I got obsessed with my body straight away.
Indeed. Well, we're in the grip of the Ice Age, the dealing and use of the drug ice.
On religious preaching in Rundle
The
Mall.
Australian flag, Anzac Day, the national anthem, bacon.
Hey, welcome to Hide from Fire. I am, as always, Adam Sage, and yeah, yet again, I've been neglecting doing this podcast, but all right, let's just get straight into it, shall we? Yeah, well, let's get straight into the first article once I find my buttons here. Boom. Yeah, this is the Biden had his first press conference. I think his PR manager or whoever she is was yeah, she was trying to say that, you know, he had done like 40 or whatever, but she was just basically counting any time the media was anywhere and he spoke to anyone. She basically just counted that as, you know, that's a press conference. So, you know, they're saying 40, but in reality it was his first. And yeah, we got it here at Summit News. White House correspondent Biden, there's the first burp of the podcast. Yeah. White House correspondent Biden doesn't know he has a press conference today. What press conference? Oh God, there he is putting on his boomer burqa. As America's prepare to hear Joe Biden take questions from the press of the for the first time since becoming president, it seems that the man himself is completely unaware that the event is happening. Fox News White House correspondent Peter Dorsey noted on Wednesday that when Biden was asked if he was prepared for the presser, the president responded, "What press conference?" Fox News, yeah, here we go. Somebody shouted out to Biden, "How are you getting ready for the press conference?" And he said, "What press conference?" So here we have it here. Docky noted that that he has a binder full of questions to ask Biden because it's been a while. Some suggested Biden was joking. However, video of the incident clearly shows he's just plain confused, again, forgetting his precious mask to boot. Yeah, even though, yeah, that's the weird thing. Even though he's been, you know, he's been vaccinated and the Vice President Kamala Harris or whatever the fuck her name is, they've both been vaccinated. You see them sitting in the back of a limo together and they're both wearing masks because, you know, woke virtue signal. As Biden left the stage after today's remarks on Equal Pay Day, a reporter asked if he was ready for tomorrow's press conference. Biden joked What press conference? Yeah, I'm sure that's what he did. Biden again, fail again. Now he forgot the mask in the document folder. Looking at the state of American president, the journalist asked a logical question. Is he ready for a big press conference, which is scheduled just for today? Biden responded, what press conference? There he is with that bull dyke. Hang on, let's play this. Yeah, I don't care that my account's been suspended. Yeah, he's out of his mind.
Ready for the press conference tomorrow? Ready for the press conference tomorrow, sir. The press conference. Can you order equal pay for the soccer team, sir?
Yeah. No, he's definitely Yeah, no, that was definitely a joke. Hang on, I got a sound effect for that. On Wednesday, Biden handed over yet more duties to Kamala Harris while appearing not to know what he was doing. Biden, Ron, who am I turning this over to? Yeah, do I have this? Hang on, I got a Biden folder here I made for this episode. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Anyway, let's watch this one.
Now we're going to get down to business here, and Ron, who am I turning this over to?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. I think it's time for the president.
It's like the worst Mortal Kombat character ever.
Now we're going to get down to business.
Yeah, okay. Given that Biden's handlers have desperately kept him away from reporters for 2 months, it will be interesting to see what on earth comes out when he can't be pulled away from the cameras. Will he be able to speak? Okay, so I actually have some of this, and okay, here's the first one. Just a little notable. Actually, this is from the first time he was going to talk to the media, and yes, I'll just play this. Yeah, this is the first time he was going to talk to the media.
And I'm happy to take questions if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do.
By the way, all this sign language is bullshit. I'm convinced. And then they just shut off the feed because, yep, he's not ready to take questions, basically. Yeah, he's like, I'll take questions from the media, and then they just shut down the feed, and then they basically, deleted all that from the internet, or tried to anyway. So, here is his, here's another one from the press conference.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, we're going to get a lot done. And if we have to, if there's complete lockdown and chaos as a consequence.
Let's go back on that.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, we're going to get a lot done. And if we have to, if there's complete lockdown and chaos as a consequence of the filibuster, then we'll have to go beyond what I'm talking about.
Oh, I also missed the clip.
Okay, hang on.
Where he said he'd been in office for 120 years.
Oh.
With like a straight, like stern look on his face, he said he'd been in office for like 120 years, and then on the media's like running fucking interference for him, and he basically said it with a straight look on his face, like he actually thinks he's been in office for 120 years. He might be immortal, he might be like a Highlander or something, I don't know, but what was the other one I had? Here we go. This was my favorite. This is 53 minutes into the interview. This is when he's asked about, I think one of the reporters goes off script and asks him about gun control instead of infrastructure.
Is to rebuild the infrastructure, both physical and technological infrastructure of this country, so that we can compete and create significant numbers of really good paying jobs. really good paying jobs. And some of you have been around long enough to know that used to be a great Republican goal and initiative.
Yeah, it still is.
I still think the majority of the American people don't like the fact that we are now ranked, 85th in the world in infrastructure. I mean,
not true.
Look, the future rests on whether or not we have the best airports that can accommodate air travel.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
So businesses decide. Some of you, if you were ever local reporters, and you found your governor or mayor trying to attract business to your community, what's the first thing the business asked? What's the closest access to an interstate highway? How far am I from freight rail? Is the water available? Is enough water available for me to conduct my business? All the things that relate to infrastructure. We have somewhere, I asked the staff to write it down for me, and they did, not for this, but for a longer discussion. We have somewhere in terms of infrastructure, we rank 13th globally in infrastructure. China is investing 3 times more in infrastructure than the United States is. Bridges, more than 1/3 of our bridges, 231,000 of them, need repairs. Some are physical safety risks or preservation work. 1 in 5 miles of our highways and major roads are in poor condition. That's 186,000 miles of highway. Aviation, 20% of all flights weren't on time, resulting in 1.5 million hours lost in production. 6 to 10 million homes in America still have lead pipers and miners and the rest to work capping those wells at the same price that they would charge to dig those wells. It's the place where we will be able to significantly increase American productivity.
Yeah, remember, he's being asked about gun control.
Where there's asbestos. How many schools in America we're sending our kids to don't have adequate ventilation? How many homes, buildings,
were detained by CBP, had the phone number for their mother who lives in the U.S. We have contacted the mother. And the only way they know her kids are here because CBP today, Thursday, has not contacted that mother. So when can we expect your promise of things getting better with contacting and expediting?
Well, they're already getting better, but they're going to get they're going to a whole hell of a lot better real quick, or we're going to hear some people leaving. Okay? We can get this done. We're going to get it done. I had a long meeting with the entire team and several cabinet-level officers the other night. We're going to be moving within the next week over 1,000 people out of the Border Patrol into safe, secure beds and facilities. We're going to significantly ramp up. We're already.
Okay, so he goes on about the basically, and then they ask at the end, I believe, like he says, when can we when can we get back in there? Like, when can reporters, when are they going to be able to have a look at these border facilities? Like, when are you going to let the press in? He keeps saying, yeah, soon. And, excuse me. He keeps saying soon. And then I think Project Veritas released this footage they got from inside these detention centers. Right, so all those the silver thermal blankets, these are all people sleeping under blankets. These are, apparently they care so much about COVID, they care so much about social distancing and all that crap. But when it comes to, the border being flooded with fucking migrants, with economic migrants, suddenly all that goes out the window. Yeah, here we go. Look at them, all the little burritos. Oh, look, there's even more. God, how noisy and annoying would that be? Like, every time, like, you know, everyone tries to go to sleep or whatever, anytime somebody moves, rustle, all those people in the noisiest blankets possible. Oh, that's going to be... Oh, that's got to suck. And they're getting another area ready. Yeah, but no kids in cages, though, because these cages are made of clear plastic, perspex. So, you know, technically not a cage, I guess. It's kids in boxes. So, and of course, you know, AOC was nowhere to be seen with her, yeah, weird. She didn't stand outside those boxes and do a photo shoot of herself dressed in white, pretending to cry. Ugh, stupid fucking whore. No, hang on. Do I have a sounder for her? No, I don't. Never mind. She hasn't worked her way into my stream deck yet. Yeah, but then, you know, then there were these pictures. Once I can bring it up. Yeah, here we go. So we got these pictures here of Biden, and we'll just zoom in on this. Of him, yeah, with his, you know, pictures and who the journalists are. I think they allowed like 9 journalists in total to come in, and yeah, that would. And then we have it here, a more zoomed in picture, or cropped out, and yeah, you can see, yeah, 9 in total. So they might labeled 1, 2, and you can see 8, 9 there. So yeah, that's like, you know, proves that he's basically. Yeah, he's being, yeah, how do you put it? Yeah, he's being, he's got handlers. He's being told what to do, like, you know, who to ask what questions. It's like the journalists are going to get sick of it eventually. Like, as much as they hated Trump and they want to, like, shill for him, they're eventually, like, their ratings are dropping. They're eventually going to have to start coming after him because at the end of the day, you know, it sells. That's what sells. Like, chaos sells, you know, hate sells. So they can't, like, this love affair with Biden, it won't last forever. And do I have any more Biden here? You know, I got one more clip, which isn't Biden, but it's 3 former presidents talking about getting a COVID.
Our fellow Americans.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans.
And soon, they will be a...
Yeah, well, that's who you want to talk for. 2 war criminals and a rapist. That's who I'm going to take advice from.
You will die without honor.
Available to everyone.
The science is clear. These vaccines...
The science is clear. And I'm one who knows a lot about... I know a lot about the science. Fool me can't get shamed again. Yeah, well, I know that I'll take that vaccine and I'll take the money for doing the ad. And yes, and God damn it, I can't do an Obama. Well, it's a very good vaccine. It's a fine vaccine. It's frankly the best vaccine. That's kind of talking like Trump there, isn't it?
These will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
They could save your life.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
That's the first step to ending the pandemic and moving our country forward. It's up to you.
You know what? I didn't get the videos for it, but there was an equally cringeworthy fucking ad campaign by Bono. You know what? I might actually just... Yeah, Bono decided him and like some actress who was at like Penelope Cruz decided they were going to, you know, change the world by making a, by making a like COVID vaccine thing, cartoon. So hang on, I'll just try Bono. Let's see, Bono South Park is one of the first things that comes up. Bono. Let's try Vax. No. Bono vaccine. Let's try cartoon. Bringing us together. No. Let's see. No. See if I can find it here. Wow, it's really not coming up on YouTube. I thought it would have been how the vaccine works. Vaccines are responsible, blah, blah, blah. Let's try Bono. Okay, let's try Bono Penelope Cruz. And I think this is it. Horde, the coronavirus will find whoever is left unprotected. Yeah, I think this may be it. Let's just see if this is it. Yeah, whenever you're ready, you can load. God damn it. Goddamn Australian internet.
Uh-oh. That's a lot of needles. Look.
If the vaccine isn't everywhere, this pandemic isn't going anywhere. Join our fight to end the pandemic.
Right, so that's Bono's. Okay, this is one. So, yeah, comments are turned off. Of course they are. Oh my god. Okay. What the hell is this?
If the vaccine isn't everywhere, this pandemic isn't going anywhere. Join our fight to end the pandemic.
Oh, how about no one? Oh, that's his that's Bono's charity, because I believe that's because that's how many that's what percent of every dollar goes actually to the cause. Let's see. There was another one that didn't make. Yeah, this one.
What's that?
Vaccines arrive.
Ooh.
Okay, so you got 3 people.
Only 2?
Only 2.
Nice.
Right, so theoretically, if 2 of them take the vaccine then the other one is safe as well, because the other 2 people aren't going to get it or give it to them. Or are they trying to say you need to give the vaccine to goats? Yeah, that's what I don't say. Okay, that was Bono and his gay fucking. Yeah, well, that was. I wonder how many $1 million that cost to make, and how much he was paid, how much Penelope. I don't even know where Penelope Cruz was even in that. What does her voice sound like? Who was she voicing? And yeah, it sounds like Bono just basically Bono basically just went, if the vaccine isn't everywhere, it's nowhere. I'm a giant douche. To quote South Park. But yeah, okay, well, let's go to our next story anyway. That's enough about Bono. Facebook scrubs pages showing supermarket shooter was anti-Trump, pro-refugee activist. A report also claims Biden has been briefed that Ahmad Asalai or whatever, fucking Beardsley McFucking Turban Head, is also an ISIS shooter. And this was glorious to see on... this was fucking beautiful to see, on all the Twitter blue check marks and all them. Just, this is a white guy, another white guy shooter. And then as soon as they find out it's a fucking Muslim, suddenly they all just change their tune. But anyway, we'll read them. Facebook scrub pages belonging to the Boulder supermarket shooter, Ahmed Al-Assar, Issa, whatever, not going to work here anymore, revealed the gunman was anti-Trump and had promoted pro-refugee, Islamophobic activism. Well, good for him. He was arrested after killing 10 people, including a police officer, during a rampage inside the King Soopers grocery store yesterday afternoon. And I believe this Boulder, where it was, he lived 20 miles or something away. He went for a drive. He drove somewhere he knew he was going to find white people, but this isn't a racial hate crime or anything like that, because white people. I think all the people he shot were white as well, and I think 6 out of 10 or whatever, or 6 out of 8 of the people who were shot by the guy who was just trying to shoot sex workers. He didn't care about their race. The other shooter, a couple of days before that, Yeah, like 6 out of 8 of them were Asian, so they called it an Asian hate crime. 100%. 10 out of 10 of the people he shot in this were, white, but they're not going to call it an anti-white hate crime. Okay, Asali, blah, 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 fucking Beardsley McTurban head, who was born in Syria and migrated to the United States, made posts in 2018, which he stated, Trump is such a dick, while blaming racism for his 2016 victory. By the way, this guy's supposed to be 21. Yeah, I reckon he's one of those refugees who came over and said he was like 17 or whatever, so he'd be treated like a minor. But yeah, it's apparently this guy is 21.
How dare you?
He's a 21-year-old, and apart from he's worried about racism slightly. He's worried about Islamophobia, but there's
the only thing that worries me is hair loss.
Yeah. Okay. Suspects now removed Facebook page. Okay. Yeah. There we are. The single shooter. The victims of single shooter. They were victims of the entire Islamophobia industry that vilified them. Okay. So that's who he's probably talking about. Christchurch there. He intended on growing an economy and the unemployment rate was low. The economy was an upward spiral. He won because of racism. Trump is such a dick. Yep. Okay. Yeah. He's definitely a one of these right-wing Trump supporters. Why refugees and immigrants are good for America? Yeah. If these racist Islamophobic people would stop hacking my phone and let me have a normal life, I probably could. This content is available right now. Yeah, okay. The gunman also shared a PBS article, Public Broadcasting Services article, with the text, "Why Refugees and Immigrants Are Good for America," while also accusing racist Islamophobic people of hacking his phone. Okay, so he had all his ducks in a row. That's what we're going with here. Commenting on the 2019 New Zealand mosque massacre, he said, They were the victims of the entire Islamophobic industry that vilified them. Journalist Andy No reports the page that also revealed Issa Allah to be a deeply religious Muslim. Here it is. The suspect in the Boulder mass shooting has had his social media removed. What post some managed to see and screenshot. He now identified as a Muslim and had grievances against Trump, U.S. refugee settlement, and Islamophobia. Yeah, he inherited a growing economy and unemployment rate was low. The economy was on an upward spiral when he won because of racism. So yeah, this is, and there he is, the Boulder mass shooter suspect who is accused of killing 10 people is an immigrant from Syria. His full name is Ahmed Halawali Asarwala Ramarama Ding Dong. His online post show he was a deeply religious Muslim. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. That has really gotta hurt that's gotta hurt the blue check marks. According to Jack Posobiec, Joe Biden has been briefed. He's an ISIS sympathizer. The fact LAC was Muslim doesn't mean that ordinary, hardworking, law-abiding Muslim Americans share any blame for the tragedy. True. Just like the other guy was white doesn't mean law-abiding, hardworking white Americans deserve any blame for the tragedy. It goes both ways. However, if he'd been white, it's guaranteed the media would have exploited the bloodshed to push their careless narrative about the threat posed by quote-unquote white supremacy. Yeah, Ahmad Arsi, that's it. That's the tweet. Be prepared for the barrage of "not all Arabs are terrorists" tweets from the people below. Yeah, and here are some of the tweets. So we have, this guy saying, white male suspected shooter, at least 10 dead, AR-15. That's the tweet. Heard the shooter had been apprehended in Boulder. Apparently means he is white, right? They still haven't released detail. The shooter was white. The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. White guy shoots 8 people. Media. Alleged shooter was a Coldplay fan. Lover of fine wines. What? That doesn't even make sense. The media jumped on there. He was a white guy and white men bad. You're on the media side. Okay. Knew the Boulder shooter was white when they said he was taken alive. Not true. The shooter is not white, so this story will disappear from the media. The white male shooter escorted out alive. 9 dead. When you find out, this is it. When you find out the shooter's name is Ahmed Assar, but you're woke. The shooter. Let's see, we view this here on Twitter. Yeah, I know my account's suspended. Stop reminding me. The shooter was taken into custody. In other words, it was almost certainly a white man again. If he were black or brown, he would be dead. Next tweet. Let's mourn the victims, but not glorify the killer with the attention of having this name widely known. Why? Because it's a Syrian Muslim name? Might that be the reason? Alert, the age of the Silicon Valley man, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, yeah, so basically all these white, all these fucking blue check marks were so fucking happy to, go around. Yep, okay, and yeah, there they all are, saying, white male shooter, white male shooter, white male shooter, white male shooter. White male shooter, yeah, yeah. Shooter was taken. NRA, this is your well-regulated militia. Disturbs solo white male shooters. We need background checks now. Actually, he did have a background check, and I believe he may have lied on the background check, which would be, or was that no? Sorry, I'm thinking of Joe Biden's son Hunter, who lied on his background check to get his pistol. That's who I'm thinking of. Oh, boy, isn't my face red. Me confusing this guy with somebody who lied on their background check, which was Hunter Biden's. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got another one here. Leftists scramble to delete tweets after falsely claiming Boulder mass shooter was white. Freshly published fake news to amplify white supremacy moral panic. And there he is being taken away. Leftists across Twitter, many of them journalists, scrambled to delete tweets after falsely claimed the Boulder mass shooter, an Islamist from Syria who reportedly had ISIS sympathies, was white. Earlier today, the gunman was revealed as Ahmad al-Salazar, a migrant from Syria who routinely complained about Donald Trump, racism, and Islamophobia on his Facebook page, was swiftly deleted. Yep, see, this is how I know he isn't 21. He's bald. And, you're saying, yeah, he might be, but does that look like the body of a 21-year-old? Does that look like the chest? Does that look like the torso hair of a 21-year-old man? Does that look like a 21-year-old at all? Secondly, he was using Facebook. Who under the age of 60 is using Facebook? There's no way he was like, this guy is fucking deeply religious Muslim, complains about, and he's on Facebook. All those things scream fucking left wing. All those things scream middle-aged man as well. Earlier today, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the other reports also suggest the ISIS sympathies and had planned to return to Syria. However, immutable journalists and other leftist commentators were embarrassed after prematurely claiming the gunman was white in an effort to amplify their contrived moral panic about white supremacy. In America, if you're white, no matter how many people you kill, you'll be taken into custody alive, tweeted John Pazlovic. We really need to ban angry white guys with guns, he added before deleting both tweets. You fag. Let's see. In America, if you're white, no matter... Yeah, okay, I read those. BLM activist Melina Harris also deleted a tweet that screeched, "What? White men are the greatest terrorist threat to our country." Twitter allows... Okay, this is from Hashim Kazar. Twitter allows verified users like Mian Harris to peddle wild disinformation about shootings/terrorist attacks in real time. If I did this, I'd be suspended immediately. Atlanta shooting was not even a week ago. Violent white men are the greatest threat to our country. I saw the Boulder training and immediately knew in my heart with everyone affected by this tragedy. It's absolutely devastating for someone inside the store where the Boulder shooting happened. It seemed like all of us had imagined we'd be in a situation like this at some point in our lives. Yeah, right. So you just in a follow-up explanation, Harris said, I made the assumption based on his being taken into custody alive and the fact that the majority of mass shootings in the US are carried out by white men. Not true, actually. I think it's around 40% of mass shootings are white men, and white men make up about 60% of the, well, white people make up about 65 or so percent of the US population. So, if anything, white men are underrepresented. Like, white people are underrepresented in mass shootings, but, you know, you don't want the truth to get in the way of a narrative. This obvious an attempt to imply that whites are overrepresented in mass shootings, despite the fact, according to Statistica, broadly speaking, the racial distribution of mass shootings mirrors the racial distribution of the US population as a whole. We have one here from Statistica. Broadly speaking, okay, yeah. Yeah, this is from Paul Joseph Watson. Racial distribution of mass shooting mirrors the racial distribution of the US population as a whole. Oh, those pesky facts. You know, they don't count because...
You're fucking a white male!
Twitter itself also spread information by featuring a trending panel which described the Boulder shooter as a white male. The white guy who was called Ahmad. Ahmad. People are comparing the arrests of white male suspects at the center of the shootings in Boulder to the death of an unnamed black man, Elijah McClain. An independent investigation led by the Aurora, Colorado City Council had found that police officers involved in the fatal confrontation with McClain did not have a legal basis to stop or physically restrain him. Okay. Another journalist who describes his role as debunking misinformation/fake news literally spread the same misinformation and fake news. Debunking misinformation and fake news. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, I don't know, I'm suspended. A poor white guy who may have had a bad day or just a sex addict killed at least 10 people in Boulder. He was only apprehended and was not choked or shot to death because he was not brown, black, or a Muslim. And yes, he is only a shooter, not a terrorist. Hashtag Boulder shooting. Hashtag Colorado. Oh, dude. That's just embarrassing. That really is. A journalist debunking misinformation and fake news. Fact check. You fucking scammer dickhead. I guess he's got to go. Yeah. Oh, his job as a journalist his integrity as a journalist rather is pretty fucked. I guess he's going to have to go back to telling people that they've got paid too much and then asking them for fucking iTunes gift cards. After claiming that the shooter wasn't killed by cops because he was white upon his identity being revealed, Ahmed subsequently demanded people stop talking about it. Yeah, when you find out but you're woke. Yeah, we did that one. And again, people continue to die just so that white men can own guns and reinforce the power they already have. And again, this narrative isn't going to age well. Today, a white man walked into a grocery store in Boulder and killed 10 people. He was apprehended by police and taken unharmed. Meanwhile, not far from this very store, police killed Elijah McClain as he begged them not to hurt him and apologized for not doing nothing wrong. Smack my head. Yeah, it's not going to age well either. Check marks posting L's. Check marks posting L's. That's a great fucking name. Okay, yeah, let's take another look. Is this the same one? Includes potentially. No, it doesn't. No, fuck off. Boulder shooter is a suspect white man. suspect is a white man named Assad. Several white supremacists online are now trying to claim this white suspect isn't white based on his name. They love playing the denial of whiteness game when it's convenient. So let's address white crime. Okay. The fact the dude gunned down 10 people and police didn't shoot his ass, that means he's white. We ain't going to start playing games just because he was born in Syria. Oh, God. This guy is really trying to keep the narrative. The suspect is white enough to benefit from the privileges of whiteness. Yeah, I would love to know what these privileges of whiteness are, because I haven't received any of them and I am well overdue. Let's see. I hypocrite left before, right after the name was revealed. Yeah, that's right. This didn't age well. The shooter has been identified as suspect gunman at Boulder, Colorado. Shooting is a white guy. 7 reported dead. Q, mental illness, bad day, parking dispute, or any other excuse than what most likely is a white domestic terrorist. Oh, dude. I wonder if this tweet's still up. Okay, it isn't his tweet, so it's just a screenshot. Yeah. So yeah, they're deleting all this shit. That's it. That's the tweet. Yep. Islamists from the Middle East called Ahmad now counted as white. We can't catch a break. Just because he's Muslim doesn't mean he's a white guy. Oh, let's have a look at this one. Just because he's a Muslim doesn't mean he's a white guy. Irrelevant. Having skin doesn't make you white. It will be interesting to see how right-wing media deals with Atlanta shooting versus Boulder shooting. They ignored the Atlanta shooting since the government was a white conservative male, given the name of the Boulder, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. People are arguing whether he's white or not because it would not be acceptable to blame whites in general for murders. It's not the DC snipers were black. I don't recall an entire race being condemned. Blame lies entirely with the killer. Yep, that's a good point. Breaking entirely. You might want to use a screenshot instead of linking to Andy No in the future, just to keep from giving his profile a boost. Oh, this is Twitter, my dude. This isn't a place for facts. He's Syrian, though. Dude, he's Arabic. Be fair. He's obviously not Caucasian. Arabic is the language. You mean Arab. No, I could be mistaken. I mean Arabic. The French people, blah, blah, blah. For demographics purposes in the US Census, Arabs aren't considered white. The guy was clearly of Arab descent. That would make and would be marked as a white person. Thus, the narrative of white person committing a gun crime technically still holds. Wow. Question authority. He isn't white. You can question the legitimacy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You may not like it. Yeah, okay. And it just goes on and on. All these people saying, I'm white and you're not. I'm qualified to determine if he's white or not. Not you. Stay in your lane. He's not white. He's white, source. Other white guy. Remember, if this guy saved 4 kids from a house fire, he's not white since he shot people, he's white. That's how it works. That's a messed up attitude to have. No, it's not. It's a completely accurate attitude to have. Yeah, so they, well, that's journalism for you. That's, yeah, you know, basically, if you do good things, you're not white. If you shoot people,
you're fucking a white male!
All right, and let's go on to our next story here. Let me just, yeah, and staying on, staying on Islamic terrorism, as it were. This one comes out of London. Shamia Bujum reveals she's longing for a Subway footlong sandwich if she's allowed back into the UK. Because, you know, the West is evil and all that shit. Shaheen Begum, or whatever, Begum, who fled the UK in 2015 when she was just 15 years old after falling victim to ISIS propaganda. Yeah, listen to how the fucking UK media loves to make her the victim. Has revealed in a new documentary that she would eat a footlong Subway sandwich if she ever gets back to the UK. Wow, they really must have bad food over there in the UK. If the one thing she's longing for when she gets back into the UK is a shitty shitty Subway sandwich. I wonder if there's any link between her and, Juicy Smollett. He was all about the Subway sandwiches. It seems like people who are completely full of shit and race baiters, they love themselves some Subway. She travelled to Syria along with 2 friends to join the barbaric militant group, but now begs Brits to give her a second chance.
That's what the bloody Marxists always say.
In a new documentary that was filmed in 2019 called The Return, Life After ISIS, Begum can be seen living at the Roj camp in Syria after the fall of the terror group's caliphate. Spanish director Alab Sorata Gotare, Gotare, rather. Okay, I thought that was his name. Alab Sorata, excuse me. Got rare extensive access to the to Begum and other Western women living in the camp, where they have remained since the fall of ISIS. Oh wow, she's such a looker. The schoolgirl who fled London. Okay, so she was a schoolgirl in 2015. So 15. So that makes her 21. Yeah, she was 15 in 2015, so that means she was born in 2000. So that is a 21-year-old. Jesus Christ. Yep, but all people are equal, and some people aren't uglier than others. In the documentary, Begum can be seen partaking in therapy sessions with other Western women where they're encouraged to write letters to their younger selves about their regrets. I regret coming over here because I got raped a whole bunch. Yeah, don't do it. They will rape you. I'm sure that's what all the letters say at some point. For more news, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Begum tells the group, okay, my name's Shamia. I'm from the UK. I'm 19. Wait, she's 19? Well, no, if she was 15, hang on. In 2015, she's not 19, she's 21, okay? So this must have been it's 2018. Or whatever, okay. When asked by another ISIS bride what she would do if she ever got back to the UK, she said, eat a nice big Subway footlong with meatballs and just leave me with it. Oh my God, I love Western culture. I'm totally not a Muslim anymore. Put bacon on it. The teen runaway has pleaded with people in the UK to keep an open mind about her as she fights to return. Download them. No, I'm not going to do that. She said, I would say to the people of the UK, give me a second chance because I was still young when I left. I would ask that they put aside everything they've heard about me and just have an open mind about why I left and who I am now as a person. Why you left to join ISIS or why you left ISIS? Because you didn't leave ISIS. ISIS was overthrown. They were kicked out of that area and they left you behind and you were captured. Yeah, you didn't leave ISIS. ISIS fell. That's the thing I don't get. It's basically she's saying, oh, why I left. No, you didn't leave. You left the UK. You left the Western society. You turned your back on that. You never turned your back on ISIS. This whole thing about you you want to come back to Western civilization. You want to get a foot-long Subway sandwich with meatballs, which, arguably, if you're going to get a Subway sandwich, that is the best one. I'll give her that. I mean, she's got taste in sandwiches at least, but still, Subway sandwiches suck ass. And, you're not it's basically you got caught, you got captured, and now you're you're apologizing and you're joining what you considered the enemy because the side you were on lost. And now you're like, well, they lost, so I'll go to the other side. So that means that at any point, if it looks like fucking Islamic terrorists gonna rise up in the UK, you will immediately switch sides because you've shown that that's exactly what you do. Begum has been fighting for the decision to remove her UK citizenship, but was dealt a blow last month when the Supreme Court rejected her bid to challenge the decision. Good. She was recently spotted in a Syrian refugee camp wearing more Westernized clothes of a t-shirt and sunglasses, having ditched the traditional Islamic dress she had worn previously. Oh, well, that's it. She's cured. She put on Yankee blue jeans and t-shirt. Oh, she 100% Western now. Many have commented they believe the images show that Belgium is trying to convince the world that she should be allowed back into the UK. That is exactly what she is trying to do. She's trying to convince the world that she isn't a piece of shit, even though she is a piece of shit. That's basically what. And you know what? This I'm just gonna try and well, we do it here. Well, okay. Reading this article reminded me of a sketch that got condemned in the UK for being Islamophobic. I'll just try and find it. See if I can find this sketch because it Okay, here we go. Let's watch this.
Coming up this season on The Real Housewives of ISIS.
It's only 3 days till the beheading, and I've got no idea what I'm going to wear.
Abdul seduced me online. He had me at free healthcare.
So this is my 6th marriage. I've been widowed 5 times. 6 times.
I'm so glad I've moved over here. It's everything those guys on the chat rooms told me it would be, and it's full of so many wonderful surprises. Didn't have to do this at Birmingham. Bullshit!
Are you ready, girls? Yeah. Hang on, I'm recording it for Instagram. Ta-da! What do you think? Ahmed surprised me with it yesterday. Hashtag OMG, hashtag Jihadi Jane, hashtag death to the West ISIS emojis.
Oh, babes, I love it. You look gorgeous. She looked massive. You're gonna need a lot of Semtex to kill that one.
Oh, guys. Hey, ladies! What do you think of this?
Awkward. What a complete bitch. She knew I had that jacket. Copies everything. Copy this.
Oh my God, it was so cringe. Hashtag matchy matchy.
It's times like this I wish I'd never moved out here.
Coming up next week.
He won't stop talking about his 40 virgins. Why can't he be happy with me?
Ali bought me a new chain, which is 8 foot long. So I can almost get outside, which is great.
Yeah, and that was on the BBC, and of course, you know, they had to cancel that, and you know, outrage, you know, fucking,
how dare you,
and all that shit, because you know you can't make fun of ISIS because you know they're such good people or whatever. I don't know what the reason is you're not allowed to make fun of. Like they call it Islamophobic, making fun of ISIS, and then they say, look, not all Muslims are, you know. Not all Muslims support ISIS, not all Muslims. And then you do something where you make fun of ISIS, where people make fun of ISIS, and then they call it Islamophobic. Well, it's like, well, hang on, is it not all Muslims? Is ISIS not all Muslims, or is it Islamophobic to make fun of Muslims? That is the dilemma. And yeah, that is a big dilemma of the left. That is a big dilemma of the woke and all that. And anyway, so, you know what? Let's get into some, and speaking of ISIS, speaking of fucking jihadists, speaking of criminals, let's get into the crime segment. I'm going to make a video for this eventually.
In a future time. You swear one more fucking time and I'll put you in the lockup for the night for disorderly. Just like last time, I'll deny your bail. Some big fella's going to play with your arsehole through the night. If that's what you want, say one more fucking swear word.
Okay, Salem man feeling support following racial hate crime. Now, let's take a look at what this racial hate crime was, and I do have a video to accompany it. I fucking bet I downloaded it. Where'd I put it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? God damn it. Did I download it to the... Hang on, I might have put it in next episode's folder. Let me take a look. No, I did not. Okay. For some reason, I don't have said video. I'm positive I downloaded the goddamn video. Oh, this is embarrassing. Well, I guess we'll read on and hope that there is a video that will accompany this story, though I'm not 100%. Okay, I think I might have just bookmarked the page that has the video. I didn't download it. That's why I'm not seeing it. Never mind. All right, moving on. Let's see. It's been 2 days since a man in Salem saw he was the target of a hate crime. And Saturday, we spoke with him and the town's mayor about the incident. Spoiler alert, the town's mayor is black. Josh Gadsden's 2016 Dodge Charger is getting a paint job after someone sprayed racial slurs and white supremacist symbols on it. Ooh, sounds serious. Gadsden, says he received a lot of support from other Salem residents following the incident, but he still worries when it comes to his 3 boys. He says he hasn't gotten much sleep since he saw the vandalism on Thursday morning. However, he trusts that Salem is still a good town to live in and raise his family. Well, unless they're witches. Cops. Wrong button. Oh, that took way too long. Where was it? It kind of blew up. Okay, I'll just give him I'll just give him a generic American accent here. It kind of blew up pretty much quickly, but yeah, the support had been huge. I never in a million years would have thought that I would have had this much support in a small town or a tight-knit community, Gadsden said, let alone people from like different states. But I mean, yeah, it's been unreal. Our family really does appreciate all the support and prayers and the offers that the people have given. It's been crazy. Saturday night at 10 on Kelland Weekend News, you'll hear from Gadsden about the incident and the support he's received. Following it, you also hear from the mayor of Salem. Okay, so share this story. Yeah, I've got more on this. I know I do. Right, so yeah, I guess you're wondering what I am. Well, where's the where's the hate crime? You know, what did they paint on his car and all that? This video, if it loads, Salem man target of hate crime, and yeah, he did go on the he did end up going on the news for Kello, hang on, here we go.
The target first, a Salem, South Dakota man woke up this morning to find himself the target of a hate crime.
KELOLAND's Angela Kennecke spoke with Josh Gadsden about the racial slurs and white supremacist symbols spray painted on his vehicle right outside his home while his wife and family were sleeping inside.
Josh Gadsden is a car guy, and he babies his 2016 Dodge Charger. But the vandalism he woke up to early in the morning wasn't just an attack on his prized property.
I went out.
Okay, first thing you have to notice, and
outside to see what was written.
In Dodge Charger, but
yeah, okay. So first thing you
vandalism
want
he
to
woke up
notice
to early in the morning.
Now, see the rim there? By the way, shit rim. And he paid I guarantee he paid way too much for those rims, and that is they're chromed. Wait, are they just spinners over a fucking metal? Oh, dude, you tacky faggot. Oh, God, are they? They look like they might be. Okay, they're either chromed rims. Chrome rims are shit because they're so hard to repair and they damage so easily, and they're just cheap. They can get away with using like cheap aluminium and then just chrome plating it. Yeah, either that or they're just chromed hubcaps. But what you will notice, over like steel wheels, they might be just hubcaps over steel wheels, or I'll have a look in a minute. But what you'll notice with these crimes, when it's like a hoax hate crime, when it's done for when it's done for like for insurance purposes and that. The people who spray paint their cars like, nigger and swastika and all that shit, they never touch the rims because insurance companies don't cover your aftermarket rims. They cover the car, the bodywork of the car that's standard. Yeah, it's like if you see these hate crimes and they've got like these hoax, that's what I'm calling this, a hoax hate crime, because I don't believe it's real. But what you'll notice is if they have aftermarket like an aftermarket spoiler, aftermarket like side guards or like flared aftermarket, like rear or front bumper. If any of it's aftermarket, you'll notice like if they have an aftermarket hood on the car, anything like that, you'll notice that none of the spray paint is anywhere on the aftermarket parts. What you notice is you'll never see the spray paint on any part of the car that isn't covered by the insurance, like any part of the car that's aftermarket, and these wheels are definitely aftermarket. That's why you never see spray paint on the wheels. They never paint their wheels because they aren't covered by insurance. That's, for me, that is how you know it's a hoax hate, but we'll continue watching. There are other things that make me think this is a hoax hate as well.
Wasn't just an attack on his prized property.
Okay,
I went outside to see what was written on there, and there was a swastika on my hood.
See?
There
so
was
it's not an aftermarket hood.
Inward from the front of my car all the way to the back, and then on my rear left corner panel there was a Confederate flag.
That's not a Confederate flag. I don't know what flag that is, but that is not a Confederate flag. Confederate flag is not black and red. It's not black and anything. Like, if he hadn't colored in those bits on the side, you could say that was a Confederate flag. But because they're colored in, yeah, not a Confederate flag. Like, if somebody didn't tell you that it just looks like a sideways hourglass in a box. But if he hadn't said, okay, there's the rims. And they are, they're not chrome. Wonder if they're standard or not. I don't know that car. It's an American car, so I'm not sure. But yeah, notice how none of the paint is touched the rims at all. These people painted all over the car, but they didn't touch the rims because rims aren't covered by insurance. Now, why would a person who hates you go to the effort of only painting on places on your car that are covered by insurance? That is a question you have to ask yourself.
He was filled with outrage, but also
not a Confederate
something
flag.
else.
It made me very upset. But at the same time, it made me feel sad for the person that actually did it.
Yeah, because
who knows, they might not know better.
Gaston has lived in Salem for 5 years.
Yeah.
And this isn't the first time he's been the subject of...
Yeah, look, the wheels aren't touched at all. Like, the person hates him that much, but he didn't puncture the wheels so he couldn't drive the car anywhere. They might be. No, they're not standard. They don't look like standard. They're aftermarket wheels. That's why they weren't touched. Yeah, so they didn't touch his aftermarket wheels. They didn't touch the spoiler that's a different color from the bodywork, which is probably standard anyway. But they only painted on the car, parts of the car that are covered by insurance. But,
Racism.
This is a real
There's
crime.
times where I get, groups of people in a car and they'll drive by my house and, flip me off or call me derogatory names.
Yeah, well, you might be a dickhead. Like, what are the derogatory names that they call you? Are they racial slurs? Or are you just, are they just going, hey, that's that dickhead that we hate? Yeah, okay. Groups of people driving by calling you names doesn't mean racism. You could just be a dickhead.
Does it make you want to leave, move away?
Here we go. Look at that. That is not a swastika. First of all, the orientation is wrong. Secondly, like all hoax hate crimes, it's backwards. That's what these people need to learn. If you're going to put the Nazi emblem on your car and claim somebody did it, at least get it the right way around. Okay, that is, I don't know what that extra thing is on the top there. You can see on the at the top there where that extra line shouldn't exist. So, either these hate crime Nazis are so dumb they don't know their own symbol. highly unlikely. Or he did it himself, and that's what he thinks. Like, you'd think these people would just Google, or maybe they're smart enough to realize that if they Google what a swastika looks like, they, their internet history might be tracked, and it might be obvious that they're lying. Yeah, I kind of doubt that. What I think it is these people aren't that smart, and they don't know what it is. They think that's a symbol. That is, except for that extra line at the top, that is the Hindu symbol for the Hindi symbol for peace, which because for it to be a swastika, for it to be the National Socialist German Workers' Party logo, it needs to be flipped like the other way around, and it needs to also be moved. It needs to be orientated 45 degrees. Like a swastika, like this is why I don't understand why these people can't get it through their head when they do these hoax hate crimes. A swastika, you're basically writing two S's. So it's an S and then another S. It should go in the same way that you draw an S. It's not that hard to work out. But yeah, so hasn't touched the rims, hasn't touched any part of the car that isn't covered by insurance. Also, backwards swastika. And he's receiving, and we'll see, but if he has a GoFundMe, if he's receiving donations, that's the trifecta that tells you this is a hoax hate crime, and he's doing it for the clout, he's doing it for the money.
Absolutely. I'm not going to let them win by trying to get me out of town. This is my home. I live here.
He worries most about the safety of his 3 children, but hasn't lost
Holy shit, his kids ice skate. Well, they're half white, so okay.
Faith in the town.
At the same time, there is a lot of people here in Salem who support me and my family, who have our backs, who know we're good people, who we all get along with a lot of people. It's the rotten eggs in the basket that makes it bad for the whole town.
Angela Kennecke, KELOLAND News.
Gadsden says he is one of 3 black people in Salem, but one of them is the mayor of the town. The McCook County Sheriff tells KELOLAND News it's investigating the crime, and if the perpetrator is caught, they could face felony vandalism and hate crime charges.
Oh, hate crime charges and felony vandalism. Oh, dude. So if the person is caught and it turns out to be him, he is looking at he's looking at filing, because the police are involved now. He is looking at, filing a false police report. He's looking at,
charges.
He's looking at that. He's looking at, insurance fraud, which I think might be
a new vending machine at Lowell Elementary School is dispensing valuable life lessons for kids.
Okay, I don't want to see that. He's looking at a whole lot of shit if he gets caught out, which I'm assuming they're either just going to drop. I'm assuming that the woke police department, they won't want to get in any trouble, so they'll probably just end up dropping the case or whatever. And speaking of hoax hate, we move to our next story, which I also believe to be a hoax hate, but we'll see here. After national TV appearance, Noodle Tree chef will distribute surgical masks to Senator. Okay, so this is a guy who went on. This is a guy in Texas. After they opened up and said people don't have to wear masks, he went on CNN and basically said that, it's not fair. Me want to wear masks. Well, that's not actually how he talks. I was just being racist there. Give myself the racist gong. San Antonio chef Mike Nugent or whatever, who drew worldwide support for refusing to open his restaurant dining room last week, despite the green light from Texas governor, now says he'll donate surgical masks to keep customers safe. Nugent appeared on CNN last week and spoke to the current. Spoke to the current, I guess that's a show, shortly before that to explain that he opted not to reopen the dining room in his USTA area ramen shop out of concern for customer safety and his own health. Nugent is battling cancer and recently lost a relative to COVID-19. Cry me a river. How dare you? I dare. So this sounds like he just wants to get money. Following his CNN appearance, The chef received a delivery of 600 surgical masks and will share 100 of those and lunch with the USA. Okay, so campus police. So not actual police, like wannabe rent-a-cops. Since university staff and students make up a great deal of his pre-pandemic guess. Okay, so this guy gets a bunch of woke fucking university students and the campus police that all come into his restaurant. So he's taking the woke angle because that's his client base. Hey, fair enough. Makes sense business-wise. Nugent will give away the remaining 500 masks to people who order bowls of ramen, which he's still offering via contactless takeout. Gee, I wonder if by having all these COVID restrictions in place and doing the takeout thing, I wonder if he's been able to cut staff numbers at all. I wonder if he's been able to scale back his business to a point where he's doing less but earning the same. I'll give him an American accent because I assume he was born there. By no means do I have the power to stop people from going out or shut down anything, Nugent told The Current. But if I can help stop the spread, I will. With all this support from the nation, I am compelled to do something for the community, give back in a way that would benefit the city, and not just give away toilet paper. What? Okay. That makes no sense. But yeah, virtue signal all you want. When Nugent's story broke, he never imagined he'd be receiving support from around the globe. People from all over have sent me care packages and essential stuff like hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, and spray, he explained. For the most part, people have been supportive and shown a lot of love. For the introverted chef, the attention has been overwhelming. Of course, they've got to give him some kind of to say, he doesn't want this. It was initially going to be, I wasn't initially going to do the interview because I'm a private person, and going on national TV to talk about my sickness wasn't an ideal thing for me, he said. But I realized the message outweighs my personal comfort zone. He added, the economy will always come back. Those who lose their life to the virus, they won't. So many restaurants, so little time, find out, blah, 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 San Antonio's. So basically this is, well, now you say, why is this you may be asking yourself, why is this, why did you segue with this into hoax hate? What does this have to do with it? Well, the plot thickens, is what I'm going to say. So he goes on CNN, he talks about how despite the fact that he doesn't have to, the COVID lockdowns are over in Texas, he doesn't have to do any of this fucking woke virtue signaling bullshit. He's such a woke virtue signaler that he's going to continue to do it because my woke virtue signal. And then this happens. San Antonio restaurant vandalized with racist anti-Asian messaging following owner criticism of end of mask mandate. That is very convenient. Asians are not the virus, racism is. No one said Asians are the virus. They said the Chinese Communist Party is the virus, but yeah, sure, make up your faggy sign. Ramen restaurant in San Antonio has been vandalized with racist anti-Asian messages after owner Mike Nugent criticized the end of the mask mandate in Texas. CBS News reports that Nugent received a text on Sunday informing him his restaurant had been spray painted with messages that read, "Go back to the number 2, China, ramen noodle flu." This one's not bad. No masks. No mask, Kung Flu Commie, and Hope You Die. Kung Flu Commie. No, Kung Flu and Commie. See, you should have called it, there's other ones, like Kung Flu, yeah, fair enough. And Hope You Die. See, this is why I don't think it was a real one, like using the letter, like, this sounds like an Asian thing where he writes in text, like text messages. The attacks come less than a week after Nugent appeared on CNN to call Texas Governor Greg Abbott's lifting of the mandate selfish and cowardly. Well, allowing you to go back to work is selfish and cowardly. Oh, because you wanted handouts. I get it. Greg Abbott's living a selfish, accusing the GOP politician of prioritizing profit over public safety. Well, no, allowing people to earn money and live, that is public safety. Keeping them locked down so they become dependent on government handouts, that is not public safety, I would say. Like, you know, that's what this guy wants. This guy just wants to live. He wants to get money for free. This is my theory. And he's annoyed that he won't be getting any COVID relief now because the restrictions have been lifted. Like, he had a good thing where he could, you know, operate his business bare minimum and still make money doing takeout. Dude, just open a food truck if that's the kind of business you want to run. Hire 2 people to run a food truck and just and have that as your business. That's clearly what you want. He added that dropping the mask mandate will not help the economy, will not help us open, and lots of us feel he's putting us in danger. Nugent is currently battling lymphoma and previously lost a loved one over COVID-19. They love bringing that up. Texas Governor Abbott's decision to lift the mask is selfish, says Nugent, a restaurant owner. Yeah, this is the other thing. I couldn't find it anywhere. I think he may have taken it down now. But he had a GoFundMe going because when he announced that he had lymphoma or whatever type of cancer it was, he started up a GoFundMe and decided that, you know, that was how he's going to make money to pay for his cancer treatment. And then, there was no proof that he actually has cancer. Then the whole, shutdown thing happened. And suddenly, he kept his cancer GoFundMe going. And then he started directing people, if they want to support the restaurant, to support that GoFundMe for his cancer money or whatever. So it sounds like he's just using the coronavirus as a way to get more money into his cancer fund. But anyway, okay, so we
know there's 2 sides of this mask debate, and even though I'm all for Texas opening up 100%. I think we worked really hard to get to that point. If not to 75%, but I'm not going to see the full 100% because I'm going to have guests who take this seriously will come and will require masks, and I have the other guests who will say, you know what, I don't think we need to wear masks. This is silly. And they're not going to dine at my establishment.
So basically what you're saying is that you're going to lose all your woke guests, and because you operate like right next to a university, anyone who isn't part of the university and doesn't worship the media, doesn't worship celebrity, they're going to come into your restaurant without wearing a mask, and that's going to scare off all the fucking brainwashed sheep. Yeah.
So we're back to square one where it's 50-50.
Mike, that's an interesting point because the governor and others will say, listen, we have small business owners' backs here. But you're saying, you said you've heard similar from other business owners that, I mean, is it that customers would prefer to some degree that you keep the mask mandate up? In other words, they'd be more comfortable coming with masks than without? Is that what you're finding?
Absolutely.
That is complete bullshit. I live in South Australia where at no point during 2020, at no point during this pandemic, did we have a mask mandate. I have seen a total of 3 people wearing masks. We did not have a mask mandate. I've seen a total of 3 people, I believe. I saw one person walking into a chemist wearing a mask. I saw one woman at a supermarket who asked me to grab something, an old woman who was wearing a mask at a supermarket, and she asked me to grab her a can of canola oil, like pressure spray can, off the top shelf, and she stood like literally right next to me. Like her head was under my armpit when I grabbed the can off the shelf. And she was wearing a mask, which baffled me because, if you're afraid of a virus, yet you stand that close to me, it's really weird. And I also saw, about a week ago, I saw a woman walking down the street when I was driving home from work. I saw a woman wearing a mask. I've seen a total in the last year of 3 people wearing masks in a year because we never had a mask mandate. So this idea that people feel safer, no. You're just saying that you and a lot of your customers have been brainwashed by the media, and that's why you're going on mainstream media talking about it, because you're trying to appeal to other brainwashed people.
I will say that the government doesn't have us Texans interests at play at this point. I think it's more of a personal interest. I think his decision to drop the mask mandate is selfish and cowardly, and that
No, I think wearing a mask is selfish and cowardly.
Dropping the
It's
mask
cowardly.
mandate will not help the economy, will not help us open, and a lot of us feel that he's putting a lot of us in danger. You know, he's at a time where we need him to be a leader. He's not being a leader. The leader needs to make hard decisions. The leader needs to
Yeah, he
lead.
did. He opened up.
Basically saying, you know what, we're going to leave the decision on y'all, because if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
it's going to be on y'all. It has nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's he's giving you freedom of choice. He's saying you are free to choose to wear a mask, in which case if other people aren't wearing masks, you're protected from their spit or whatever, their droplets, and or you're free to wear a mask. You're free to not wear a mask, or you're free to wear a mask. He's giving you freedom, and what this guy doesn't want is freedom. He wants everyone to be forced to conform to his view and his ideology. That's the problem here.
Do with me, you know, even with the freeze, you know, he blamed windmills, he blamed frozen generators. He never took accountability of what happened. He didn't even try to help us. He just went on Twitter and said, you know, 500,000 people have their power back, you know, and it's ridiculous. And even back when we had our first surge back in May, he opened up the
Okay. That's on you for thinking the government is there to take care of you. That's this guy's problem. He thinks that it is the role of other people to care about him. And it's not up to him personally. This guy lacks personal responsibility.
state way too soon. He saw what happened and was blaming restaurants, gyms, and everybody else except for himself. You know, so Greg Abbott doesn't have the Texas people's interests in play. He, you know, cares about himself at this point.
Mike.
Oh, as opposed to like, you know, de Blasio and Whitmer and, you know, the other mayors in the Democratic run states who, you know, while they lock everybody down, they go out and they dine, you know, they go to like fancy French restaurants and dine without wearing masks close to people and that because, you know, they take it seriously. You fucking idiot.
You've been battling cancer. You have lymphoma. So your battle for your business has also been a battle for your life, for your health. I mean, I can't imagine being in your shoes going through this and then having to hear, you know, well, no one has to wear masks anymore, which if that were in your restaurant and you had to let people in without masks, you'd really be compromised.
Correct. You know, I was almost devastated.
Well, then shut down your business.
When I heard the news, just because, you know, this year.
Oh, you want the government to make rules that protect you.
Dealing with the stress of, you know, with my sickness.
You don't have to go into work. You can shut down your business.
You know, the anxiety of that. And just trying to have to adapt to try to keep my business alive. Obviously, my business and my health kind of goes down the side because that's what's going to provide me, you know, my medical expenses and all that. So, you know, I even shut down for 6 months. This
so
year,
you want someone else to pay for your medical expenses? Is that it?
I had to reopen to kind of keep the business alive. You know, and my biggest thing is if we have another surge or we get a setback, my business may not survive this.
Yeah. Final question, if I can. Some business owners have told us that they're now put in a uncomfortable position, to say the least, of having to confront customers, right? In other words, that you're now the enforcers, right?
Yeah, it's
for
your
mask
business. You
requests
have
in
to
your
enforce the
restaurants
rules.
because the mandate's been lifted. I wonder if you've had to confront that.
I personally haven't had to deal with that yet.
So no.
See it may happen.
Okay, so this is all about something that might happen. It could happen. Okay.
Just we've been through this for a long time now, and we're all kind of, you know, our emotions are high right now, and the fact that people are ready to go back to some type of normalcy, and you know, confrontation is going to happen. You know, we see it all the time on the internet where people go to stores. And,
because the internet is real life.
Throwing groceries on the floor because they have to wear a mask. You know.
Yeah, it's because people like you go up and tell them they have to wear a mask. If you just leave them alone and you wear your mask, you're protected, no problem.
And it's sad that we can't just respect each other's, you know, what we're going through. And we're just
He was about to say respect each other's space, which would mean respecting other people not wearing masks. And he had to fucking quickly change that because he realized that, yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about respecting other people's space and respecting, he wants it his way or the highway.
All in this together at the end of the day. Yeah. And that we're not going to be able to
we're
get past
all
this.
in
We're
this
so
together.
close to the end of the light of the tunnel.
Stay home, stay
that,
safe, faggot.
You know, we're just so close to be there. You know, and my other thing is, you know, with this confrontation, since I'm an Asian Americans, we've seen a lot of attacks on Asian Americans, and that's a huge concern for me because I have a bullseye on my back, and
then
you know,
and there it is. And then conveniently after this interview, his business gets sprayed with something that makes him even more of a victim. Because he even just said, "Have you had to confront people not wearing masks?" He said no, and he realized that that is bad for the message he's trying to push. That he's a victim and he needs to be compensated. He needs to be taken care of by Big Daddy government. And he realized that that wasn't happening. And then conveniently, you know, the next week after this, he gets exactly what he needed, which was you know,
we
the
see all these
graffiti.
instances of that, and this is opportunity. And
You're right. It is opportunity.
Yeah, we don't want to add.
It opens up that opportunity.
Yeah, we don't want to add that to your experience anymore. Mike Wynn, thanks so much. We wish you and your business the best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, he got to go on media. When he went to start cleaning off the messages, he said that a customer had offered to help. I had a bucket in my hand with soap and water, blah, blah, blah. These photos of the graffiti go back to Kung Flu. Yeah, and notice... Yeah, it's, I guarantee, yeah, it's just all over the stuff that's covered by his insurance. Again, no windows were smashed, no, Kung Flu, no mask. Yeah, okay, so even if this is real, which I doubt it is, in addition, $1,000, while local mayor can spend $1,000 at the restaurant and give food to the community. Yeah, so his business is now booming after this so-called hate crime attack. He's now fucking, things have gotten way better. He's gotten more money into his GoFundMe that he was trying to get because of his cancer. And, that's it. That's why I think it's way too convenient. This guy loves being on mainstream media. He loves mainstream media. He's absolutely, you know, in love with the idea of, you know, being on the news, being, you know, this guy, you know, he any opportunity he gets to talk to mainstream media, he jumps at it and he completely follows the narrative of mainstream media, and then something conveniently happens that gets him back on mainstream media. And like I said, he was restaurant workers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm just reading the next story. Yeah, I couldn't find anything on his GoFundMe. Seems like he's hidden that. I, you know, looked everywhere I could. I searched GoFundMe. I, you know, searched all those sites like that, and I couldn't find it. I think he's gotten rid of it now because, yeah, it's a bad look when it jumped after his, his quote-unquote Asian hate crime attack. But yeah, that's the story. That's what happened. And you know, I got another Asian hate crime story here. But yeah, I've been going about an hour and a half, so you know, I think I'll call this a podcast for the night. And yeah, I've got to fucking get ready for work and that tomorrow anyway. It's getting late. So on that note, I will catch you guys. I'll catch you guys on Wednesday, hopefully. Yeah, if I'm not lazy. And I will leave you the same way I always leave you, which is to remind you, Black Lives Matter.
you will die without honor.
Gay!